Yo guys, what is up? Mike's in our first Descendant video, and today we got the full Season 2 reveal with the roadmap for Season 2 and all of the content that's coming towards it. There is so many massive improvements coming to the game, new content, new Descendants, new weapons, and like so many changes that we've been asking for. It's kind of wild. The developers just did a dev commentary that was over an hour long, packed with information of changes and everything that's going to be happening to the game. I'm going to be trying to break it down as concisely as I can. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. So we're going to start by replaying the reveal trailer with my reaction towards it, and then we'll get into the full breakdown.
이야기 시작하면 좋을 것 같습니다.
Here we go. Oh shit. Wait, was that Sharon? New dungeon? New enemy? Wait, is that a new faction? Oh, that looks nice. Sharon. Wait, I think that was a new weapon. Laser, like a electricity rifle. Also, he looks toxic. He's got like green accents, the new Descendant. Oh shit, there she is. Ultimate Sharon. December 5th. Looks sick. So there's a lot to break down, both in that trailer, but also their explanation and commentary of it afterwards. So to start, we've got a new dungeon, which is called the Void Vessel. This is going to be a bigger dungeon that's going to be taking place out in the void. The description of it is: an unidentified abandoned ship has been discovered deep within the void. In this new dungeon, a formidable boss named the Dread Armor awaits. Dread Armor is this enemy type here. It's going to be a new enemy type that we're going to be fighting that has multiple phases, where in the different phases of the boss fight, it's going to have different attacks. So it's going to start by like shooting you, but its second phase, it'll bring out its like big melee weapons and chase you down. So they're trying to talk about bringing more dynamic boss fights out into like the PvE space that isn't Colossus fights. And that's what they're aiming for with this. It's going to be a much harder type boss in this dungeon. And they say not only is it a massive in size, but its weapons evolve with each phase, from a handgun and shield to dual melee weapons, and finally to dual handguns. The Void Vessel is available in both a normal and hard difficulties, and defeating the Dread Armor will reward players with Keelan and a new companion fellow. So it sounds like you're going to be fighting this to get the new Descendant and the new dog, which seems pretty awesome. Now, one thing that they wanted to point out about this dungeon is it's going to have some new mechanics to it, and that's there's going to be drones floating around that are going to be trying to like identify and sound the alarms, basically. And it seems like there's going to be stealth mechanics within this dungeon where it's going to be easier, or you'll have to do like less fighting if you bring a stealth Descendant like Sharon, which is awesome because we are getting Ultimate Sharon, which we'll talk about in a second. But it sounds like you're going to have to work together, maybe try to like sneak around a little bit, go to different rooms, and all of that sounds awesome. But the biggest thing about this is that it's going to be random. It is not going to be the same tile set every time. Every time that you go into this, it's going to have like a different layout. So it's not going to be the same thing where you get to go the exact same path or figure out the exact way to go to avoid the stealth stuff. It's going to change and adapt every single time. So it's going to be a new dungeon that is longer, that has more enemy types, new harder boss, and it's dynamically going to be changing each time you run it. It sounds freaking awesome, and I cannot wait. The next thing to talk about is the new ultimate weapon, which is this like electric laser beam that you can see Bunny firing here. That is the new ultimate weapon called Voltia that you can find in the Battle Pass. Now, the awesome thing about this weapon is it is going to be firing electric damage, but that electric damage will fork and chain to nearby enemies. They said it's going to be an awesome mobbing option, and the official description says that it harnesses the electrical current discharge technology used in Bunny's suit, emitting energy that chains damage to enemies surrounding the initial target. Unique among firearms, Voltia can break anti-void shields, which are typically only destructible by skills, making it incredibly valuable in the Void Vessel mission. I think these like bubbles that we see on a lot of the enemies are going to be those void barriers that you have to break via skills. As you can see, like she's shooting at it with her thing. It sounds like this weapon might be like particularly powerful on Bunny, but I bet you it can be used on every character. But I'm really excited. I think this might be the chaining of the damage. I'm not sure if that's the chaining or if it's, you know what? That definitely is it. So it looks like it's going to do those like chains above the enemies to break all of their things. But looks like we've got another new mobbing weapon, and this one will be in the Battle Pass to unlock. The next weapon to talk about is the Hammer and Anvil shotgun. This firearm will have two firing modes. The first is going to be a firing mode where you hip fire it, and it does like a wide blast, a wide explosion. That's going to be like your mobbing mode. And then if you aim down sights, it fires like more of a slug that's going to fire a like explosive round, and that explosive round will deal a bunch of damage. So it's going to be a shotgun that you kind of have like two firing modes, one for mobbing, where you're going to be hip firing it and hitting a bunch of enemies in front of you, and then you've got a single fire mode for single target damage, where you're aiming down sights and firing explosive rounds that are going to do a bunch of single target damage, which sounds really, really cool. I am hoping that we see some like shotgun changes in terms of ammo economy, because this sounds like an awesome weapon, and I'd love to use it on more characters than just Glay, but we don't have like notes on that quite yet. Next, we get to talk about Ultimate Sharon, who looks freaking awesome. This is the ultimate skin that she'll be launching with. On the right is their like, they said that they wanted to like show us more things, even if they weren't fully ready of concepts. This is going to be another skin that's coming out for her, which looks very like cyberpunk-esque. I dig it. But Ultimate Sharon is going to be coming with two new Transcendent modules, which we already heard about, that are going to be really, really awesome for her. The first is called Area Suppression, and this is going to be a Transcendent module for her fourth ability that allows her to hurl daggers or swords in a 360 degree around her. They said they really want to amplify her ability to deal area damage, and when you crit in with these daggers or swords, it's going to reduce the cooldown of your fourth. So they said that you should be able to spam it if you have like a crit build. So she's going to be able to deal a bunch of AoE damage, sending out daggers and swords everywhere, and then building into crit. You're going to be able to keep getting those swords back and sending more out. Sounds really cool. Her next Transcendent module is going to be called Ambushed, is what they said, which boosts your movement speed and reduces your skill cooldowns. But if you kill an enemy in stealth, so like if you're in stealth and you shoot an enemy and they die in that shot, where you use your one ability and use your like slash and kill an enemy, you'll re-trigger stealth. And they said that you should be able to achieve an infinite stealth playstyle, which I cannot wait for. One, I think that's going to be great for the new dungeon, but also that's like something that I've always really wanted for Sharon. That's kind of how I built her to be in that infinite. And now we're just getting a like mod that will really enhance her ability to stay in stealth. So I'm hoping that she like really fits that niche. And I'm curious to see if they do any like buffs for her. I would love to see like a little bit of buffs in terms of her damage, so that like she can deal that like super single target DPS character, but looks really awesome. In terms of story content, with this update, we're getting kind of like, sounds like two different stories. One is going to be like a Sharon story quest, where we kind of encounter her like arch nemesis, which is this like crazy looking character, and we're gonna explore more of her story. The like Freyna story obviously ended with a bit of a cliffhanger, with Sharon saying that she was up next, which proved to be true. But we're also getting a like new story quest that runs parallel to the main story that's going to be fleshed out more in this season and upcoming seasons, that has to do with like finding I think they said it was like an abandoned colossus like floating out in space, and the remnants of it, and like kind of breaking that down to find out more of what it was doing there. It sounds really interesting, but basically 2 new story things that are going to be happening in season 2. Next up, we get to talk about Fella, which is the new dog companion. Now, this is going to be a companion that you'll be able to unlock. We didn't get to see any gameplay of it, or like they didn't explain it too much. They did say it's going to be fully customizable. It will be coming at the start of season 2. But a big thing that they mentioned is we're going to be getting auto dismantle. So it sounds like you're going to be able to have this dog with you to, they did confirm auto loot and auto dismantle, which is going to be incredible. There's so many times you like leave a bunch of gold on the ground, so many times where you have to like constantly go into your inventory and deleting massive hordes of things. So the dog should be bringing a lot of quality of life stuff. They didn't talk too much about it bringing enhancements to your abilities and like damage. I don't know if the dog is going to be completely passive or if it will fight alongside you, if you'll be able to equip it with mods or things like that. But it sounds like it is going to bring a lot of quality of life to the game. And also, you're going to be able to make it look however you want. There will be cosmetics for the fur, the body, the attachments, the torso, and a whole bunch of other ways to like make it the way that you want to look. And they also showed off that they're going to be bringing Christmas themes for the doggo, which looks very, very cute. Next, we get to talk about the new Descendant, Keelan. Now, they didn't reveal all of his abilities. They mainly showed off his what looks like to be his 1 and 2 ability, which are his like dash and his like kind of explosions. They did confirm that this is going to be a toxic descendant, and they also confirmed that it's going to be a skill-based character, meaning that he's going to be relying more on damage from his skills than damage on his weapons. As you can see, he's fighting all these enemies here without actually shooting his gun. But the big thing is that his dash is going to proc acidic decay on the enemies that he dashes through and on the enemies nearby the enemy that he dashes through. Acidic decay is going to, I don't think it's as dot focused, but it's going to build up stacks on enemies. That's going to make them take more damage from his skills. So as you see, he's like dashing through enemies here, proccing the decay on all of them, and then shooting what looks like to be maybe his like second ability that causes these explosions that have this like kind of like ghost flame as color on them. It looks really, really cool. We didn't get to see his like other abilities, but I'm sure we'll get to know more about him once we get closer to launch. They also showed off the new Descendant, which they confirmed to be called Inez Rhea, who is going to be an electric type Descendant who specializes in AoE combat. It'll be interesting to see her role as she plays an electric AoE character and like how she like fits in with Bunny also being an electric AoE character. But we didn't find out too much about this character, besides the fact that she is coming out on January 1st, which is going to be like the second part of season 2. The first part dropping on December 5th, second part dropping on January 1st. Now, this is so freaking cool. This is the new Void Abyss intercept battles. Descendants face their biggest challenge yet against giant bosses in the new battle, Disrupt the Void Reflux mode, to stop them from regenerating their parts and enhancing their abilities. Through this battle's Descendants will be able to receive Colossus themed skins. So this is the new like Void Abyss battles. It's going to be the next tier of difficulty, and we're going to be fighting Colossuses that are going to have mutations. They're going to fight differently. Instead of their like normal immune phases that they go through and the like mechanics with that, they're going to be able to regenerate their parts, and you're going to have to bring in like they said like new super focused builds and teams to like beat these fights. They're apparently going to be really hard, and one of the super cool things about them is they listened. I made like multiple comments about, trying to get them to make cosmetics. Like they made the like Executor skin and the Dead Bride skin, but you could only purchase them. And I was like, how cool would it be if you could just like farm Dead Bride and earn these skins? And they actually listened. They're going to be adding customizations that you can unlock from defeating these. They're going to be free cosmetics that you have to earn after showcasing that you can beat these bosses and farm these skins, and they're going to be really cool, and they will be universal for all Descendants. So you can use like these, if you unlock it, you'll be able to use it on all of your Descendants, which is freaking awesome. They look really cool and very varied from like current skin offerings, and so that's going to be awesome. New hard boss fights with new mechanics, new loot, and earnable cosmetics from them. They're absolutely cooking with this. The other piece of endgame content, they really touched on the fact that they are very aware that people have been complaining about the lack of endgame content and the lack of difficult content, and that is where void erosion control is going to be coming into play. Now, this is coming out the second update, the second part of Season 2, and they say it's going to be the hardest content that we've ever seen. It is going to be a 30-stage piece of content that you need like teamwork, you need to work together, you need good builds and good synergies, and it'll be the hardest content that we've seen yet, as well as the ability in this content to unlock weapon cores. Now, weapon cores are going to be a new way to customize your builds on your weapons and unlock their potential. When you farm this void erosion control, you're going to get weapon cores. Every single weapon in the game will have 5 weapon control slots, and you'll be able to slot in these weapon cores to enhance your weapons. I don't think they're going to work like mods where it's like, oh, you just deal more gun damage or more crit damage. I think these are gonna give the weapons unique abilities or more so like unique traits that will allow you to enhance their playstyle. They said that they're aiming with these to really enhance build crafting and build diversity for the weapons, so you can really play into certain roles and certain ways to play certain weapons. It sounds really cool, and I'm so happy that they're acknowledging the fact that we really are looking for more difficult content. We're like grinding our asses off to make super powerful builds, super powerful weapons and setups, but we didn't really have those like super powerful things to use these weapons and Descendants and builds on, and that's where void erosion control is going to be taking place. 30 stages of content sounds crazy, and I cannot wait to see what this looks like. That's kind of it for new content. Now we get to talk about new things and quality of life things that they're going to be adding to the game. The first thing that they mentioned is that Ultimate Freyna, or Freyna, is not getting reworked just yet. They said that they played and tested Freyna against level 160 enemies, which might be a hint that we're going to be getting content that requires like level 160 stuff, which is crazy. But they said that Freyna currently makes content like too easy a bit, but that they don't want to just nerf her immediately. So what they're going to do is they're going to rebalance and rework other Descendants first, and then they're going to balance Freyna's power through content adjustments, the same way that we kind of saw like character meta change with the release of Gluttony and Deathstalker. They're going to balance Freyna through content, and then once they have the content out and they've like rebuffed and rebalanced other characters, then they're going to take a look at nerfing Freyna. And they acknowledge that the power of Freyna isn't really her damage. Like, her damage is great and all, but the fact that she can infinitely spread to enemies, you can cast one ability in a mission and just be done with it, is definitely a little bit overpowered. And so if they did adjust her, they would adjust the like infinite spread of her abilities, and I think that is a fine area to adjust. I like really, they kind of touched on the fact that if they make content specifically tuned to the difficulty of Freyna, then other Descendants will suffer. But if they make content tuned to the power of other Descendants, then Freyna will be overpowered for it, and so they're stuck in a hard place. I personally would be fine with them nerfing Freyna. I know that might upset some of you, but there is a point where nerfs are just good for the balance and health of a game. And I think one thing that they could do to adjust Freyna is definitely look at her infinite spread, maybe limit the amount of enemies that it could spread towards, or maybe make it a little bit slower to spread, so it would spread, but it wouldn't spread past like the first like 20 enemies. It would be really slow to spread, so it would spread eventually, but it wouldn't be that immediate wiping out of entire rooms of enemies, because I think that is a bit part of it, is that it latches on so fast to new enemies. So that could be something that they could adjust, but they did touch on that. The next thing they talked about is the focus system, which will allow you to target farm specific items. So, the next thing they talked about was the focus system, which will allow you to target farm items and have like a pity system. So, for example, if you really want this amorphous material or you want this part of this gun, you can set it as your mission. And this means that you'll be able to farm it normally with normal drop rates. But if you do it a certain amount of runs and don't get what you're looking for, the game will just reward it to you. So it'll be a petty system that if you are getting significantly unlucky with something, if you don't get it in a certain amount of runs, you will just get given to it at the end. So that is going to be awesome quality of life for farming. They said that the drop rates are accurate and that they are fair, like 10-20% drop rates are fair, but players are experiencing different experiences with drop rates, where some players are getting it the first time, some are not getting it after 10, and this should even out the farming experience a bit. So I think that's a great change. The other big changes that are coming to farming are the high shape stabilizers. These shape stabilizers will invert the chances of the 6% and the like 32%. So if you use one of these, the like super rare piece that's a 6% drop will get changed to 30%, and the like 30% drops will get changed to 6%. So it'll invert the rewards. I think this is awesome. As it stands, stabilizers just don't feel very good to use. In fact, most of the time I use a stabilizer, I get the like higher drop anyways. So these are going to be introduced. They're not replacing the stabilizers that are in the game currently, but they'll be introduced as a way to make those rarer drops easier to get. Obviously, it'll still feel bad if you don't get the 30%, but you should be able to significantly make improvements on your drop rates with these. Next, they showed off that you'll be able to paint base skins of all Ultimate Descendants and all base Descendants, and you'll also be able to paint back attachments and weapon skins. So any default weapon skin, any back attachment, any skin you want, everything is just going to be customizable. There's no more restrictions on customization. You're still going to be locked to like using a paint and it being used once on the Descendant, which I think is fine for now, but you are going to be able to paint literally everything, which is awesome. This is something that's been like needing to happen for quite a while. A free-to-play game should really thrive on customization, which this game was definitely lacking. And now you'll be able to freely be able to customize your base skins and your base weapon skins. Next, we got to look at the new Evolve skin, which is going to be for Valby. They said the requirements to evolve the skin are going to be like significantly easier than before. But this is a look at the new Evolution skin. I'm going to be honest here. I don't really see much change between the evolutions. Like, it just kind of looks like different versions here. But if you asked me like which one is the like tier 3 version of the Evolve skin, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. I guess it would probably be like the blonde one on the right. But this is the new Evolve skin. Personally, I think this was like one of the only misses in the like whole presentation. But that is the tier 3 skin that's coming to Valby. Next, we're going to look at some of the new skins that are coming. We've got a like Cop Sharon. The TFD logo is kind of blocking it here, but this looks sick. We've got Bunny. I think this is Viesa, which I was a little confused here because this looks like a skin that's already in the game, if I'm not mistaken. This is a new Fishnet Haley skin that's coming. We've got Lepic here. This is Jaber, I believe. And then I think the one on the right is Ajax. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm actually not sure who is on the right there at the furthest right. Let me know down below. But new Haley skin with fishnets looks crazy. The like Cop Sharon skin looks really, really cool as well. Some cool looking things for Lepic. This could possibly be Esimo. Yeah, it could also be Esimo. But those are some of the new cosmetics that are coming. In addition to the like earnable cosmetics, you're also going to be able to buy like ultimate, like kind of like everyday wear clothing. And they did confirm one of the biggest things for this is that the skins that you buy that are universal skins are now going to be universal for every Descendant, meaning that if you buy a universal skin once, you can use it as many times as you want for all of your Descendants. So if you buy the like maid outfit, you can use it on all of your Descendants. Next, they showcase the Christmas theme skins that are going to be coming. We've got skins for Haley, Valby, and Bunny, all Christmas themed attire that's going to be coming. I was really hoping that they were going to do Christmas skins, so massive W there. These are the Lunar New Year skins that'll be coming out in January. That'll be universal for the characters. These are just obviously like the concepts of them, but they look incredible. Super, super awesome skins. They also confirmed, besides the Lunar New Year skins, that in February we're going to be getting Hot Spring skins, Valentine's Day skins, and new event skins. And they're also going to be working on new weapon skins for all of the weapons. We're also going to be getting new Sharon and Haley skins. Sounds pretty solid. They also touched on the fact that they're going to be adding random matchmaking to dungeons, so you can select the amorphous material that you want to farm and then queue random matchmaking, and it'll put you in a random dungeon with other players. But at the end of the dungeon, you'll still earn the reward that you picked to target. And so you won't have to do the same dungeon 50 times to build up the amorphous you want. You'll be able to play a variety of dungeons and earn the thing that you want, which I think is a great change. They also mentioned that they're going to be keeping the inversion reinforcement system, which I think is great. It'll be resetting your level with the new season, but they're going to be adding and changing the buffs around and taking back the feedback that we gave them on them. There will be like some of the more used ones, which will be staying, but hopefully the inversion system is a little bit more impactful and the like abilities in it feel better to use with season 2. This is an outline of the roadmap. So in December, we're getting the Void Vessel and the main story. We're getting the like Void mutated boss fights, the Hammer and Anvil and the Voltia weapon. We're getting target farming. We're getting the Season 2 Battle Pass with shop improvements, weapon balance, Descendant rebalance, Ultimate Reactor 3 to 5 enhancement. You're going to be able to enhance your reactors past 2 up to 5. Ultimate Reactor optimization condition improvements, so a bunch of reactor changes, infiltration random matchmaking, outpost second improvement in December, and the hard special operations. We're getting the high shape stabilizers, we're getting the new dog, we're getting Keelan, the new Descendant, we're getting Ultimate Sharon and the Sharon story, we're getting all of the customization improvements, the Christmas theme skins, and all of the new skins. And then in January, we're getting Inez Rhea, the new Descendant. We're getting the second Intercept Void battle that's going to have the like mutated bosses. We're getting the Super Pinnacle Endgame content, Void Erosion, with the 30 stages, and the weapon core system to like build out your weapons even more, and the lunar skins. And then they're going to have another update in February. This one more right now is just announced for like new cosmetics, but they said more content coming soon. Guys, it's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I think the devs are freaking cooking with Season 2. They are listening. They're adding so many things that we've wanted. And it seems like Season 2 is actually packed with a bunch of content. I cannot wait to dive in. And I'm so glad that they are like taking the game in the direction that they are. More like fair farming, more fair customization, earnable cosmetics that you're gonna be able to do through proving yourself in hard difficulty, more endgame content focus, and more. It's just so excited for the future of this game. That is gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.